So, what am I doing today? Well, before the ground gets too hard, we're going to reconstruct the road that goes out into the field. And we're going to do a little bit of leveling work in the driveway with some of that gravel that the highway department was so gracious to dump into my borrow pit this summer. Yeah, and in keeping with the last video about keeping your fuel tanks full, I discovered that the grocery store I go to has a gas station, and they offer fuel points. So for every $100 you spend on groceries, which doesn't take long as you well know, you get 10 cents off a gallon on your fuel. So on this particular load, I'm saving 30 cents a gallon. Not going to argue with that a bit. So anyway, let's get started with today's project. Say, did you know that when a southern woman says, "Oh hell no," it's way too dang late. You can't even run fast enough to get away from that one. Yep, you're in trouble. You done did it, and you know it, and you're going to find out you did it if you don't know it. Yeah. So Dave, what are we talking about the road out into the field? Well, right here behind me, towards the back end of the place here, there was a little trail or a road that divides the west field from what I call the east field. And that gave us access all the way to the back end of the property there. And we'll eventually have a row of trees across the back end like we do along the road here. This little roadway is all sorts of messed up since we had the fall auction a year ago and sold off a bunch of equipment. So what's the first thing we got to do? Let's get this thing marked out so we know where we're heading. So the first thing we've got to do is tie a piece of twine onto this T-post down low around here. If you recall, that's the T-post that I found the twine this last summer and got it wound around the 5-foot brush hog mower deck. Yeah, well, that was around that. But we're going to go from there all the way down there is another T-post. 20 feet across is another T-post. And we're going to bring that twine all the way back here to that T-post that's right there. And that should give us a fairly straight line, and a straight line indicating where the sides or boundaries are of this driveway. Because on that side of the driveway, this whole area here between that riser there and the end of this pipe and out into the field that way will be a garden. Speaking of gardens, when life hands you a shovel full of poo, just smile and say, "Yahoo! Free fertilizer! Yeah!" And a smile helps make the blues go away. Now, my co-workers at the in-town job have been pestering me about doing a pumpkin patch out here at the farm. Kind of a family outing kind of a thing, maybe run it for several days and give away pumpkins. So, yeah, it's a little bit of work. I'm not going to make any money on it. But we're going to give it a whirl and see what happens this year coming up. Yeah. Plus, depending on how well my knees hold up, what I call the west field here, alongside the road where the pine trees are, we may end up putting a corn maze in there. Now, the corn maze won't be anything really elaborate. Won't be one of those that takes hours to go through like so many of them do. It'll be fairly simple. That's okay. For a beginner trial, see how it goes kind of a thing. So, yeah, stay tuned for that as well. There's that little rat Gizmo. He's found something to go snoop in. Yeah. He's out here enjoying the sunshine with me. Say, did you know ants never get sick? Yeah. It's because they have little antibodies. Oh, sad. Sad, just sad. Okay, we got the twine tied off to the first T-post. Now we'll get it down to the other end. I don't know if you can see the blue smoke or not coming out of the back end of Stinky there. But the old tractor's really earning its keep for its name today. We're going to throw this ball of twine right here in the back end crook of that blade, and hopefully it'll feed out of there okay, all the way down to the other end. Yeah, so let's get with it. Okay, here we go. Let's do this in first gear. We don't want to get too crazy pulling that out. Well, here we are, and that post is right there in front of you. So now it's just a matter of pulling some tension on the twine, tying it off to that post, then we'll get started on the other side and head back the other way. I know you can't see the twine because of the lighting and it's so small and that sort of thing. But yeah, we're going to pull up a whole bunch of this to get it tight, clear down to the other end. We probably got about a half a field's worth sitting here loose, truth be known. Oh, yeah, it'll be a while pulling all this up. Oh, there it is right there. Gloved hand. Pull it tight. Now, tie it off over here to the fence post. Yeah. Okay, what I'm doing is I've pulled the twine taunt and I've just tied a simple loop knot in the thing. And the other end of this, we will go around this T-post down low. And the other end of this, we will bring it around the T-post, put a loop in it, tie it into the loop we just made on the line coming up this way. And we'll make another loop. And yet another one, just to tie it off. Yeah, something kind of like that. Yeah. Then we'll cut this off and tie this end onto the other T-post and go back the other way. Next thing to do is, I don't know that you can see it, but I'm going to hook the end of that hoe on the twine.
Hey there! Somebody sent you a message on your telephone.
That's a message from somebody I am hoping is actually JoJo Snow from one of these YouTube personalities. Yeah, if not, it's a scammer using her name. Anyway, what I'm going to do is, instead of using my gloved hand to hold that twine up off the ground to make sure it isn't hanging up on something so it is straight, is I'm going to hook it underneath the crook of that hoe and run along doing that. I won't film that because I have to hold that hoe up with one hand, steer with another hand, and I won't have a hand free for you folks to watch. So we'll be right back as soon as that's done. Okay, I found that the twine was hung up on a weed about halfway down the field, which is why I was running that hoe along it. And yeah, now I can kind of see it laying up on top of the ground. And for the most part, looks to be fairly straight except for down at the other end. So I'll have to go down there and see what the holdup is on that end. Okay, now that we've got the string lines or sight lines straight, what I'm going to do is pull this pin, angle the blade so that it's all the way forwards on this side, because that's the side I'm going to favor to watch. And we're going to angle the blade down on this side by adjusting the crank here for the leveler. As you'll see, as I'm turning this, which has got that really stiff grease in it because it's cold, the side I'm standing on is going down to the ground. That's going to permit this corner to dig into the ground and move the dirt that way. And when we're done, we'll end up with kind of a crown like a regular road. So I'll get everything lined up, bring you right back, and you can watch me start doing this. Admit, I'm not having much luck out here stirring this dirt today. What I am having luck at, though, seems to be is pulling the weeds up out of the little trail that runs out here. Yeah, and I thought maybe if I could get through those, I'd be actually getting down into some dirt. But the way it looks, I think the ground is already frozen down more than about an inch or so. So yeah. Just thawed out here on the very tip top, and that's why I'm able to pull up some of these weeds. So needless to say, I am a little disappointed in how this is turning out. I thought we were going to have a good video for you folks so I could show you how to make roads with old antique equipment, but don't look like it. Well, you can kind of see a trail that I'm making down through there. Like I said, we're going to put kind of a crown in that, and it'll have to wait till probably next spring now. I'm going to put some pasture grass seed in there, or hay grass, hay, there we go. Put some of that on this little trail through here to keep the dust down and also to help provide food for critters. Yeah, so yeah, that'll be same kind of stuff as we got going over in the little south field there that we're putting in right here on this little stretch. The results in remaking this little driveway would be a lot better if Stinky would have down pressure on its hydraulics, which it doesn't. All it can do is lift. And yeah, I don't think adding any weight right now to the blade would get it to dig down and into the ground any more than it already is, because the ground is frozen other than about that much of the top of it is thawed out today, because we have had nights down into the 20s. We've had moisture, so yeah, the ground is frozen down below. So yeah, this project might be doomed. Well, I'm going to keep working at this. Yeah, I think it's pretty much an effort and futility. And if the person that was texting me actually is the real JoJo Snow, howdy, glad to have met you and run into you and talk to you a bit. But my luck is probably some scammer. So yeah, that's the way life rolls. Striking out on the romance and striking out on building a road. Anyway, I'm Dave with Dave's Old Iron. We'll catch up with you later on another video. Stay tuned right here on this YouTube channel for more fun and excitement. Yeehaw! Anyway, I'm Dave, wishing you well. Bye-bye for now. Oh, and bye-bye from Stinky.